你不能这样子，是不是？儿妈，你不能这样子对我，我妈会生气啊！你为什么我在这儿？我现在我对不起你，行不行？你别这么这样对我吧！我老公死了，我妈也死了，
你不要认为你老公那今天是
你为什么这样对待我
？The woman kept begging her father to leave the property to her, but the father not only ignored her, he even insisted on kicking his daughter out of the house. What exactly happened here? What kind of deep hatred exists between father and daughter?
我父亲在外面找了个女的，怎么的，后来我才知道，当时跟我说这个女的是55岁，我说爸，我不同意。
This anxious-looking woman is Yang Mei-chin. She told the reporter that her father is a retired worker and is already 84 years old this year. But after her mother passed away, her father met a strange woman, and the two quickly fell in love. What's even more unacceptable is that the woman is only 50 years old, 5 years younger than Yang Mei-chin herself. Even though there's a 34-year age gap between them, her father still went ahead and got a marriage certificate with the woman. What's even more outrageous is that he now wants to hand over all his property to her. Upon hearing her father's plan, Yang Mei-chin was shocked. She explained that her father's monthly pension is nearly 4,000 yuan, and he also owns a house currently worth about 1 million yuan. Under these circumstances, it's hard not to suspect the woman's intentions in marrying her father. Afterward, Yang Mei-chin took the reporter to her father's house. But a sticker posted at the door suddenly caught everyone's attention.
老子现在骂他们谁了吧？
这骂谁的？
骂他嘛，
骂女儿的是吧？
骂他了嘛。
Seeing the confused looks on everyone's faces, Yang Mei-chin awkwardly explained that the sticker was put up by her father, and it's directed at her. Why did things get this bad between the father and daughter? While everyone was still puzzled, the elderly Yang Xihua returned with the help of his cane.
就说你要把那女的要领过来，我就过来打。我说你敢打？我说你敢，你把他打死，你不是坐牢的问题，走来给面。
Upon seeing his daughter, the elderly man became extremely angry. He said he never wants to see Yang Mei-chin again in this lifetime. Even when his late wife was alive, their relationship was poor. A few years after her death, he brought his new wife home. But instead of being considerate of his situation, the daughter insisted on driving the new wife out of the house, and even resorted to physical violence. As a result, the father is now determined to sever ties with Yang Mei-chin. After all, she wouldn't care for him in his old age anyway. Upon hearing her father's words, Yang Mei-chin couldn't hold back her emotions anymore, and suddenly knelt before him with a thud.
你为什么我在这儿？我现在我对不起你，行不行？你别这么这样对我吧！我老公死了，我妈也死了。
你不要认为你老公。
The elderly man told the reporter that before his wife passed away, the daughter never fulfilled a single duty as a child. On the contrary, she often behaved rebelliously and unfilially, which he believes ultimately caused his wife to die of grief. Now that he's alone, how could he possibly entrust all his life's assets to this daughter? Hearing his words, even the reporter felt heartbroken. But what Yang Mei-chin cares about most right now is still the distribution of her father's property. So how will the elderly man handle this matter?
你少来这套！
你少来这套！我又不是入侵家业的。
你有些没好事，
我妈不在了，我妈在的话，
我这一辈子我生你气死。
The daughter had long ignored her 84-year-old father. Now the father wants to transfer all his property to his new wife. The anxious daughter quickly knelt down and admitted fault. In response to her father's questioning, Yang Mei-chin said nothing but kept crying by the side. She cried that her life had not been easy these past few years. After her mother died, her husband also passed away. Now, only she and her elderly father remain. But now her father has found a new wife and wants to hand over all his property to her. How could she accept that? She then promised her father that she would take full responsibility for his care in his old age, and she hoped he would leave the property to her. She even called in other relatives to vouch for her. But would Yang Xihua agree to her request?
把房产证
和你的结婚证拿出来，我证实一下，看看到底现在还在不在你手上。如果在你手上，那我现在我可相信你。你要是不在你手上，那证明人家是不是被人骗了。
But in front of the many relatives, the elderly man still refused to reveal the whereabouts of his property. Had he really already transferred all of it to his new wife? While no one was paying attention, the elderly man quietly motioned to the reporter, and then took out the property certificate in a secluded spot.
给他们看一下吧，
你们看得下，不能看。
给他们看一下吧。
哎，不要看，不要看。
怎么呢？他你还是你的孙子吗？
对，那这不属于不能看，就是你们看就行了。
The elderly man said that deep down, he knows very well, everything the daughter is doing is just for money. But now, he doesn't trust anyone anymore. He then put away the property certificate again. Seeing her father so guarded against her, young Mei-chin was also deeply saddened. To prevent her father from secretly transferring the property to his new wife, she even went to the housing bureau and asked the staff not to process any transfer requests for her father. But since the elderly man is mentally sound, the housing bureau has no authority to intervene. Later, when it was time to eat, the elderly man walked to a familiar restaurant. The restaurant owner said that over the years, the old man often ate at their place. Even though he sometimes lived with his daughter, young Mei-chin never really took care of him. After the meal, the elderly man went to the entrance of his new wife's home. But no matter how long he called, there was no response. Seeing the door remain shut, the old man's heart gradually turned cold. He couldn't believe that there was not a single person around him he could trust. Was his old age destined to be so lonely and helpless? At this point he had only one thought about his property. Whoever is willing to care for him in his old age, that's who will receive it.
谁伺候我的手中，我都喝水。那我婚姻法上都讲得很清楚。
真的，你落到人家手，人家把你撵出来，怎么办？是不是？我不会害你。
The elderly man had already made a compromise, but young Mei-chin still wasn't satisfied. She insisted that her father name her as the sole heir. Seeing his daughter's greedy face, the elderly man stormed off once again. In an effort to improve their relationship, young Mei-chin went to the mall and bought her father some new clothes. But the moment he put them on, she started talking about the property again.
对，以后你好好的，我会照顾你的。
你那漂亮少说，
甚至对他，
你少来这套，
你
少来这套。
Seeing the greedy expression on his daughter's face, the elderly man completely gave up on her. He repeated his words. Whoever cares for him in his old age, all the money and property will go to them. He now clearly saw that the only reason his daughter kept coming to him was because of the money. Without that money, he wouldn't even see her. Just when he was feeling completely hopeless, his new wife Yao Yanmei finally answered the phone. She clearly expressed her thoughts.
我有的来管你啊，我挣点钱，我什么都没有，我只有这个，我这也可以，但你反正你这游戏来养我了，反正这样子那3点2场，我看确实是。
She told the reporter that the reason she had been avoiding him was that she needed time to reconsider their relationship. Back when they were together, she hadn't thought so much about it. She certainly didn't think about his property. But young Mei-chin had been making trouble for her non-stop, even physically assaulting her. So now she could only hide away for a while and reevaluate their relationship. Upon hearing this, young Xihua said nothing. Looking at the elderly man's back, even the reporter was filled with sorrow. When the tree wants to be still, the wind won't stop. When the child wants to care for the parent is already gone. We hope all children in the world can cherish their parents. Otherwise, it will be too late once they're gone.
In the end, this isn't just a story about a father, daughter, and younger stepmother. It's more like a mirror reflecting human nature, when love is no longer unconditional, when money quietly replaces family affection. The cracks in the family often begin from that moment. Yes, the daughter knelt, cried, and begged. But when her elderly parents truly needed care and companionship, where was she? And the father chose another woman. Is that really betrayal? Maybe it's just an 84-year-old man trying to find a bit of warmth in a world that had long grown cold to him. Perhaps the harshest truth is this: when a family relies solely on inheritance to hold together, then it's no longer a family. Do you think this daughter still deserves to inherit her father's property? Or is she only here for the money? Welcome to share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.